Welcome to the BuildHERS Club podcast. We're here to bring you real conversations and fresh insights from a woman's perspective in the construction industry.
Each episode will sit down with incredible guests, female builders, designers, business owners, and industry leaders to talk about the challenges, successes, and experiences that shape our careers.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out or simply curious about the industry, this is your space to learn, be inspired, and connect with a community of strong, trailblazing women. Welcome back to the BuildHERS podcast, where women in construction and business come together to talk about leadership, growth, and the real life things that impact how we show up every day.
And today's conversation, it's real, it's heavy, and it's something so many parents are quietly navigating behind the scenes.
We're going to talk about the teen mental health crisis in America, but from a perspective that doesn't always get talked about as working parents, as business owners, and as women in construction.
Because what's happening at home doesn't stay at home. It follows you to the job site, into meetings, into leadership decisions, and into how you show up for your team.
Before we get started, we can talk a little bit about our week and maybe like show everybody the pseudo Xanica and Teresa
Yes,
we got.
I would.
So there's a lot of times where we can't be together at some events.
Yes.
I mean, we each have
divide and conquer.
Right. We each have jobs on top of the podcast.
Demanding jobs.
Yes. And you have children.
Yeah.
My children aren't at home, but still, right?
A lot of things going on.
We have a lot of things going on, exactly, which we'll talk about today.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you in a little bit of Teresa's life here. But so we had these made. That one's yours.
Oh, yeah.
So that when we're not together, we
can
really
be together.
are together. Yes.
Do you love them? I
They're
love
like
them. I love them. You're going to be in my car. You're going to be riding with me.
I won't put it on a stick.
Oh my gosh. I won't feel so lonely in my car. I'll go to meetings.
So when you see these hanging about,
you'll
know exactly what we're doing. One of us couldn't be there.
Yes.
So we're in spirit. I'm going to Vegas this weekend. So I'm really seriously thinking of taking
You have to.
But I'm like, where am I going to? I have to put you in my suitcase.
Okay. Oh, I guess.
Because it's dang big, right?
Okay, so is this Vegas thing a new...
This is Angela's 50th,
venture.
Her parents' 50th wedding anniversary celebration.
Oh my word, how
Yes,
fun.
yes.
That is going to be...
And because this will air after, Angela's son, Anthony, is going.
Oh.
And they haven't seen him in years because he's in the military.
Yeah.
And so he's surprising them in Vegas.
Oh,
So
that'll be
excited.
amazing.
Yes, I'm so very excited.
Best
for that.
surprise.
So the brothers are going.
Oh, I love it.
And so it'll be
a
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to go see some shows and
Nice.
hang out. And, we're staying down in downtown area, not on the strip, which I love the downtown.
Oh, I know the old
the best
school.
people watching.
I literally envision like the Rat Pack down there. Like I'm just such an old school Vegas.
We're staying at the Golden Nugget, which is my
you are?
favorite.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes. Are you guys going to gamble?
I don't gamble much at all. I have a hard time losing money.
Yo,
I work so
11.
So the only thing I will do is the piggy game. It's the slot game. It's the pigs.
Piggy game.
The ones that you hit buttons and then they explode. And you win money. The exploding pigs. And I win. And as soon as I win, I stop playing.
Yeah, you can't rip my hands off the blackjack table. I love craps, blackjack, and 3-card poker.
I don't even know how to play them. So
I'll only let myself go like once a year. And then that's it.
It'll be IBS next year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then you have a budget of what you can spend.
Oh, always a budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's stories from IBS gambling.
Oh, I'll bet.
Oh, yeah. Good times.
Yeah, so we're going to do that this week. And what is your plans? What do you got going on? What's happened with you?
This weekend I have football and some other things, but it's
football.
been Davis is in football right now.
Oh, they have football in the spring?
Yeah, it's because it's I-9 sport, so it's not always in season or whatever.
Okay.
But just that this week has been interesting with just some new
Ooh, new what?
Okay, so this whole testosterone thing, when your pellet wears off, so now I'm rubbing cream between my thighs. I mean, it's all kinds.
You do that?
Yeah, it's testosterone cream.
Oh, that's what I have too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get me to the next pellet. So I'm trying to figure that out. It's like do only 2 clicks, but I'm
Yes.
like, is it per thigh or you split it up?
No, it's 2 clicks, period.
Uh-oh. Well, at least it's only been a few days.
Yeah, it's 2 clicks, and you can
Okay.
rub it on the inside of your arms.
Oh, you can do your
inside-
arms.
Yes.
They said legs.
Well, and you alternate it. Don't do the same.
Oh, shoot. I've been doing both.
Yeah, you'll start developing a rash, or or you can get some sensitivity to it.
Okay.
So you want to do it at a new place every single day.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
I do this
Okay.
arm, this inner thigh, this inner thigh.
Some people were like, don't use too much. Your hair will be falling out left and right.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, if the pellet didn't do it to you, then the cream isn't. The cream is very minor. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm
Depending what your dose is, I guess.
yeah. We can talk more about that
Yeah.
later. So there's that. And then just getting on some lots of fun things, right?
Medications?
ADHD
You did?
medicine.
Which would they put you on? Just Strattera?
I'll get it out. It's a lot of letters.
Guanfacine? Is that with a G?
It is a non-stimulant.
Okay, so probably
Like-
guanfacine.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
That has a little serotonin boost in it. It helps with impulsivity.
Yes. But I'm having a hard time getting going. I'm like
Starting it?
no.
You take it at night, right?
Yeah, take it
Yeah.
at night because it makes you sleepy.
Yes.
But in the morning see, this is what
Because
it
it's
slows
making
you
too
down.
tired.
It
Yeah.
slows you down.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, y'all.
Yeah.
It's a very slow go.
Right. Until your body adjusts.
Yeah.
It'll take a couple weeks for it to adjust.
So that's been interesting.
We just replaced AV's hydroxyzine with that.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see how she does on it.
Yeah.
My daughter.
So,
So that's what's been going on with you.
yeah. And then work's insane. And
Right.
I'm so ready for school to be out. I am.
And then in 3 weeks into June, you're going to be like, I cannot wait for school to start.
But it's
a lot.
time.
Yeah.
It is time.
Yeah.
So, but everything's good though.
Good. Well, they just pack in the end of the year with so many things.
They
and that's the part
do.
that's very frustrating,
Yeah.
especially in elementary.
Yeah.
Once they get into junior high and high school, it's not near as much crap. Oh, well, maybe
High
color
school.
guard is, but
high school, there's.
really, none of my kids had all that stuff.
Well,
Well, they just didn't participate in all of it either.
Yeah.
They're we're not going to go to the end of the year parties. They wouldn't even go to the senior breakfast. They didn't even do any of that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I guess you didn't have a time.
No.
Here, there, and everything. He's
Oh.
doing a solo for color guard.
Right.
So that's gonna be one night, and then
Nate was the busiest. He was in the theater, so he did
Yeah.
a lot with that. But
got awards and
and awards and stuff.
all that.
That's right. So he had a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's just been so long.
Yeah. How's your week been?
We'll talk about it.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
get into that.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get started since this is a topic that is near and dear to the reality of my heart and my life.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So let's start with the numbers. What is really the reality of what's happening with our teens? And these are facts. Nearly 1 in 3 high school students says their mental health is not good most of the time. 40% of teens report persistent sadness or hopelessness. And 1 in 5 have seriously considered suicide.
That breaks my heart. That's not just a statistic. That's kids sitting at our own dinner table.
Absolutely. It's children that you could never even fathom would even feel that way because everybody wears a facade. I mean, I wear a facade. Everybody has their game face on, right? And I'm one of those people. I never post on Facebook about my family. I don't talk about my personal life to anybody. And so I am going to be opening up a little bit more today than I ever have. So
Which is huge.
it is huge. It is huge. Because I have 2 children that actually have some mental health issues, and so pretty severe ones. And I have to start by saying this is most parents do not ever want to talk about this, because when you talk about what's going on with your child, the first thing you feel is that other people are judging you of what are you doing?
Mm.
What are your parenting styles? Did you do this? Did you do that? How could they have so much trauma when you had this whole looks like perfect life, right?
Mhm.
What's going on? Is there sexual abuse? Is there physical abuse? I mean, everybody starts questioning and you feel like you're completely being judged.
Mm.
And I've never opened up about this because that's exactly how I felt. And the more I've opened up about this, the more parents that have talked to me as well. And it is a parent loneliness epidemic out there of dealing with these kids and not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And I know my truth of what kind of a mother I am and what kind of a mother I was. And I am Gen X. So the way we were raised is completely different than the way I raised my kids. And I know what trauma looks like.
Yeah.
I experienced a lot of trauma as a child. And one of the things that I swore I would never do is that to my kids, right? So, I've learned what I should have done in hindsight's 2020, what I should have done, how I should have reacted. But just in the generation of my children, so I have a 25-year-old, a 21-year-old, and a 15-year-old. And the younger two experienced more of this than the older one did because he bypassed so much of the technology. It just wasn't out there. He didn't have a computer. They hadn't introduced computers into school. So while he had a home computer, he played games on it. But even the gaming systems we didn't have an Xbox. We didn't have, we didn't play the violent games that kids play. Phone wasn't that big of a deal. It was just more to contact. He wasn't on social media. He didn't have that pressure that the younger two really experienced.
Right.
So in saying that, I really want parents to know that, oh my gosh, if you are experiencing what we're going to talk about, I hear you and I see you and I feel you, because this is not a topic anybody wants to talk about, because the first thing you do is feel like you're going to be judged for what kind of a parent you are. So I want to get that out there, number one. And then I want to read Emily Churkin's letter to Congress. So Emily Churkin is the founder of the Screen Time Consultant, where she takes and teaches parents, schools. She started out as an English teacher in junior high and now teaches at the state of Washington. She's a professor there, an affiliate professor. And she testified in front of Congress about the epidemic we have going on with our children. So let me read parts of this. My name is Emily Churkin. I'm a parent, author, speaker, and on the faculty at the University of Washington. I do not accept funding from tech companies for my work. I am here with a warning. Technology is fundamentally changing childhood and in the process undermining parents and threatening the very health of our democracy. Let me paint you a picture. Today in America, 40% of 2-year-olds have a personal tablet. Children 8 to 18 years old average 7.5 hours a day on screens outside of school hours. Nearly 90% of American public schools provide children with internet-connected devices for learning. Occupational therapists teach young children how to turn the pages of a book. Preschool teachers report that toddlers don't like getting their hands dirty. I know one teen who was so addicted to his phone, he sealed it in a Ziploc bag and brought it into the shower with him. 26% of 13 to 17-year-olds use ChatGPT to do their schoolwork, which they access on the laptops the schools give them. My own university students have never received handwritten feedback on their papers. Elementary school children are literally falling out of their chairs in classrooms because they lack the core strength to sit for hours at a time or for long periods of time. One child viewed more than 13,000 YouTube videos in less than 3 months at school on his school-issued laptop. The juxtaposition, that's a big word, of childhood innocence and technology's overreach can be seen in this anecdote. Middle schoolers, still losing their baby teeth, think it's funny to imitate the sex noises they hear from watching online content. My daughter was personally introduced to Pornhub in 4th grade at school. on somebody's phone. Technology, but doesn't technology make our lives easier and prepare our children for the future? Unfortunately, no, in spite of the rosy claims made by technology companies. As a result, the wholesale restructuring of childhood around screens is catastrophic for children and families and has led us to 4 crises. First, a mental health crisis. Screen use before 2 years of age is linked to accelerated anxiety by age of 13. Today, 1 in 3 girls has seriously contemplated suicide, and the youth mental health crisis is so dire, it's elicited a warning from the Surgeon General. Second, we face a learning crisis. As schools double down on ed tech products, reading and math scores are plummeting. One study found that investing in air conditioning yields a 30% increase in learning outcomes over investing in tech. Air conditioning. We are quite literally wasting education dollars on ineffective technologies. Third, a crisis in creativity. A 15-year-old in Kentucky told me older kids feel like the lucky ones. In an after-school elementary school drama class she teaches, 15-year-old teaches, she said to the younger children, "Let's pretend we're flying." They looked at her and asked, "How?" If children can't pretend to fly, they cannot imagine and therefore cannot innovate. Technology access in childhood does not enhance creativity, it kills it. This threatens the future of entrepreneurship in America. And remember, today's tech giants had analog, play-based childhoods. Finally, the enmeshment of technology and childhood is creating a crisis for our democracy. Thomas Jefferson said, "An informed citizenry is at the heart of a dynamic democracy. When children spend hours being fed algorithmically driven rage bait content designed to increase engagement, they lose the ability to form their own opinions, detect bias, and think critically." All of this is by design, of course. Technology companies build their products to hook and hold our attention. And children's brains are especially vulnerable. To make their products safer, tech companies would have to compromise profits, and they don't want to do that. As a result, the business model of big tech and ed tech is fundamentally at odds with child development, and its intrusion into family life undermines the choices parents can make. This is not a kid problem. This is an adult problem that is impacting children, but parents especially need your help. Parents may delay access to smartphones and social media only for their children to view TikTok videos on a friend's phone. Parents block YouTube at home, but schools' laptops give children direct access. Senators, I invite you to think about your own childhoods, the teachers who inspired you, the awkward social moments, triumphing over a difficult high school essay, making or not making the basketball team. We remember these moments because in the discomfort, we learn something. When we seek benefits from the convenience of technology, we forget the benefits of a struggle. We have reached a moment that demands we slow down and build things, even when the tech industry insists on the opposite. Legislation like Kids Off Social Media Act is a start, and I believe we can go farther. Just as we have done with regulating alcohol and tobacco access, we can do so with social media too. Parents are not naive. We know that our children will use technology for work and life and adulthood. We just want to ensure they have a childhood first.
I can't even come up with the words for hearing that.
I look back at one of the things that I'm just like so regret was taking my daughter, 2010, she was born, and I would go to the grocery store, and just to have that moment of peace, you'd put the phone in front of them, so that you could have that.
Yeah.
And 2010 and on, that was the first generation of kids that were completely dependent, and everything was computer-based. Nothing was handwritten. They lost all their, no longer doing cursive in schools like that. That was the start of the year where those kids, 15, 16-year-olds now, have been completely raised on technology. And they're the highest age for suicide. And in researching this and trying to figure out like, what did we do and how do we combat this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm so happy the schools, state of Texas, you cannot bring your phone into the school. Great. Do they still sneak it? Absolutely. You know how many times I got my daughter in the bathroom talking to me on the phone? Like they do. They do it. And that's going to be a kid. They're going to try to do all that. even on social media, they still find a way. Kids are smarter. Like they can work these phones. They talk to their friends, they're tech buddies, and they figure out a way to get around all of the restrictions that you put on their phone.
Yeah.
There's no way, no matter how hard, unless they don't have a phone. They need to create, and I think they have phones out there. They're just not considered cool, for younger kids where they can't access the internet.
Yeah.
And, they have that out there. I think bringing back flip phones would be amazing.
I agree. I have a friend who is very conscious of the challenges that social media bring. And she has not let her daughter have Snapchat or Instagram or any of that. But now her daughter is being, bullied isn't the right word, but being left out of social events.
Oh, yeah. Because she doesn't have access to any of that, right?
Right.
Yep. That's how they communicate. Want to look like the best builder and pro in town? Side with LP Smart Side Trim and Siding. It's the beauty of wood with a degree in engineering. It's the siding your client's dream home is made of, and it's a dream to work with. It looks like wood, feels like wood, but tastes like crazy. It's strong, stylish, and engineered to last. It's what makes a job well done. LP Smart Siding and Trim. Now that's smart.
And these are the girls that she's grown up with and that go to church with her. How awful is that?
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
So in one hand, as a parent, you're protecting them and you're doing the right thing without them having social media. But in the other, there's a different issue happening. And then there's also the challenge of, when they go off to college, they get social media and they don't know how to use it. So, just feels like we're kind of...
I think these kids are smarter and they figure out how to use it, right?
They do.
They will figure out that part. It's just teaching them to use it for good versus bad. They don't even have the capabilities to get up by themselves in the morning, get ready, and out the door with their freaking shoes on.
Yeah.
They can't even make life decisions that are good. And we're putting a phone in their hand with access to the world and saying, be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not going to happen. And I know from experience it didn't happen. My oldest one, absolutely, because he wasn't as exposed. It wasn't as big of a deal. Mm-hmm. I only used social media at that point then for business, right? Like it was a completely different... And this was, he's 25. So 10 years ago, right? Like a completely 6 years ago when he graduated high school, but just dealing with, like him being a teenager, like the night and day difference between my children who were raised by the same parents is astronomical with their mental health. And I completely tie it to technology. I have a son who doesn't even have anything to do with us anymore. He has decided that he's completely cut us off. And he lives in his own world that he's created of what happened in his life. And I'm telling you, girl, like people can sit and say everything they want, but he had a great freaking childhood, and everybody's trauma is everybody's trauma. And don't get me wrong. There were some things that happened in his life that were very traumatic. And that would cause concern. But we as parents were not equipped nor aware what the phone was doing and how much news they were getting and what they could, like you can look, a friend told me this, you could on TikTok, if you want to look for ways to die, you can search that on TikTok and it will people showing you how to do it. Step-by-step process. ChatGPT will do the same thing. And then what happens is the algorithm, that's all they push. And so these kids are on this day in and day out. They play video games that are desensitizing them from violence. Kids don't even understand death anymore because they've seen so much of it.
Yeah.
They don't understand the finality of life.
Yeah.
They're inundated with this. And then what it does to their brain is constantly reaching for more dopamine because that's what the phone is doing. It's constantly reaching. So they become desensitized to everything. Now they don't want to go outside. Now they don't want to get out of bed. They're constantly the desk scroll, right? Where they're laying in bed. They're not coming out of their bedrooms. They're looking for that. And let me tell you, with Avi, and I want to also preface, I did get divorced when my middle son was in junior high, and he acted like everything was fine, and it wasn't. We realized later, but the kid was in counseling. We did everything we possibly could.
Yeah.
And we had the most amicable divorce known to man. Like, people today are just like, there's just no way that happened. And were there problems and issues? Absolutely. But it was never, the kids were always so upset they couldn't pit one parent against the other because we co-parented so well.
Which is amazing.
Right? Like, it's very rare. So can't blame the divorce. I know that it did destroy whatever family foundation they had, and that was huge. And I think that's where, as parents, we probably lost the ability, the trust from our children, right? Was when that happened. And I totally own that.
Yeah.
But my youngest daughter has used suicide as a tool, for lack of a better word. So we've been into 4 mental health hospitals 4 times over the course of 3 years. When she first got out of the first one, we were so like, oh my gosh. And this was when her older brother left home. It just kind of threw her for a loop. She didn't know how to handle that. And so she felt abandoned, I think. And that she hadn't talked to her dad in a year and a half. There was some trauma with her dad and her older middle brother. So there were some things that had happened that had caused some things. And when they were in counseling, we've done everything that you can possibly know, from medication to counseling to family counseling. Everything everybody tells you what to do.
Yeah.
We did.
Right.
100%. And the first time she got out, we didn't know what to do. So you kind of coddle and are like, oh my gosh, I don't want this to happen again. And so she eats that up, right? She's like, oh, I didn't get in trouble. I was a complete and utter, pardon my expression, asshole, but I didn't get in trouble for that. So I can continue with that behavior. We were 12 when this happened, right? So right in the middle of puberty and emotions,
which has its
junior
own
high,
challenges,
and you don't know which is what,
which, of course,
right?
Yeah.
We did have her tested. We had gene tests. We did, as parents. I've had several health specialists say, you've done everything that any parent could ever do. We had her gene tested, so we knew which medication would be good for her brain, which I highly recommend to parents to do that. It's a $300 test. Your insurance doesn't pay for it, but instead of playing Russian roulette with your child, they know which medication is going to fit for their brain, right? So we did that. We took her to a special testing place where they spent 2 days testing her for autism, ADHD, like everything that you can possibly imagine, learning disabilities. We knew she had something, as well. And just everything we possibly came out with, all these diagnoses, like 8 different diagnoses. We ended up in a mental hospital again. 3 more times now. So this last time was January. And she was in the hospital, and it was a much bigger deal because she, at that point, had taken some drugs that really affected her at school. We found out, that she was doing. And it's amazing how well these kids can lie to you. And they're stoned out of their mind talking to you. Like, it blows my mind. Blows my mind. My middle son told me he wasn't sober his entire 4 years of high school.
And you couldn't see that?
Nope. Had no clue. No idea. Yeah. Now, I didn't grow up around drugs, but his dad did, and his dad didn't see it. So, I don't know. And I know that she was, both of my kids also have the MTHFR mutated gene. And what that gene is you don't process folic acid. And when you don't process folic acid, it builds up as histamine in your body, which can cause physically a lot of anxiety. It can cause skin issues. There's so many things that it causes because histamine is allergies, right? That's what histamine is. So their anti-anxiety medication was an antihistamine to kind of lower that. There's definite medical conditions with my children. And it wasn't just all technology. Technology just didn't help.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
But we didn't find out this until this maybe a year and a half ago that she had this gene, maybe 2 years ago. So now she's on a special vitamin that helps her process folic acid, and she has to be on it for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
So, and I highly recommend people to go watch Gary Brecka. He does a podcast and he's a huge health nut, and he did one on the methylated gene. 40% of Americans have it.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And it's how your diet, basically you have to change your diet. Back in the 80s, we had a huge influx of babies being born with spina bifida. And they came to realize that a lot of it had to do with folic acid. The mothers weren't getting enough. So back in the 80s is when they really started introducing folic acid when we were pregnant, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a big thing when we were pregnant, older. The problem is then they started spraying synthetic folic acid on all of our wheat, all of our corn, all of our food. So every time you see enriched on the package, it's been sprayed with folic acid. Well, 40% of the population can't digest that. So what's that do? It builds up as histamine. It builds up as anxiety. It builds up as a depression. And by changing the diet, you can alleviate a lot of those symptoms.
Without medicine.
Without medicine,
which
right?
Is amazing.
Which is amazing. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm getting gene tested.
Are you going to get gene tested?
Yep.
So, and of course I have this, right? So I take a methylated vitamin that helps me.
Because you also can't process
folic acid. Yep.
Correct. Yeah.
So and Jennifer and I was pregnant, had to get the folic acid shot. Like there was, had to take a lot before I would get pregnant. Like, so there was, but nobody told me that this gene existed. None of us knew. Big Pharma doesn't want us to know because then they can't give us all the antidepressants and, you know, anxiety medication that they want to sell us.
Right.
So it's becoming more and more well known. And I encourage everybody to kind of do their own research on it. I am by no means a doctor, but definitely want people to look into that because that could be a part of it as well.
Yeah.
But this last time, CPS actually was at the hospital. And I'm like, you know what, lady? I invite you to come to my house. Come to my house, go to her dad's house. I mean, if you can find what we're doing wrong, I will fix it.
Yeah.
Because when your kid ends up 4 times in the hospital from suicide attempts, or the first 3 were thoughts of, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was cutting, she was doing all the stuff that in the past said to a nurse, doctor, therapist, there's trauma in the household, right? There's some sort of abuse going on, which is why parents do not want to talk about this because immediately the first thing, and my brain, same thing, what kind of abuse is going on in that house?
Right.
So why would I want to talk about it to anybody? We don't want to.
Right.
And so I know I'm opening myself up.
You're being very brave.
Well, and I'm opening myself up probably to some criticism and judgment. But they can stuff it as far as I'm concerned because I know that there are parents out here going through the exact same things and they're up all night long with a teen. Their teen is holding all these emotions and all this anger and all this pent up, whatever it is they are having. And we have to send them off to school and the next day, go to work and pretend like nothing's happening.
Oh, yeah. And
all the time.
And somehow run 3 companies, lead teams.
Oh, yeah. The day that we decided to put my daughter into the school where she's at now, she's in a behavioral boarding school, was our Galentine's event. And I don't...
You would never have known.
Well, no. And I made sure because I'm still processing, right? Like it's not something that will ever go away. Like I'm constant, like, what should I have done? And I try not to beat myself up. And I'm like, okay, I need to change this. And I've read every book and article and that, you know, people give you But it doesn't help. It helps with further conversations, right? But it doesn't help with, oh, I should have done this. Well, this book said I should have done this, or I tried this. And like, there's no answers.
Right.
That's the scary part, is there is no answers. So that's when we decided. I took her down on Valentine's Day and dropped her off in the middle of nowhere, Texas, at a a behavioral boarding school.
Christian.
Yeah, Christian boarding school.
Which was the best thing you could have done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, she absolutely hates it. But and let me tell you how bad cell phones are. For the first week, they told me this. She's going to sleep. Like, what do you mean she's going to sleep? That kid sleeps all the freaking time.
Yeah.
What do you mean she wants to sleep?
Right.
You know, and they're like, oh no, she's going to sleep because her dopamine levels in her brain are so high and she's going to be looking for a fix. Her brain won't be able to handle it. So the entire first week there, they don't start school until the second week.
Mm-hmm.
She sleeps. She has to go in where the school is. There's only like 10 of girls,
Okay.
and they come from all walks of life, all over the country. And parents, it was funny because when we went down there to check it out, she said it used to be drug addiction or sex or alcohol. She's like, now when they come here, it's mental health. It's like, we never had those issues or abuse, you know, things that it's like, now it's all mental health. And you look at these parents and you're like, how the hell did these parents have this result? Right. So, yeah, it's a 45-acre farm with goats and chickens and 17 dogs, you know, and she slept for the first week, started school the second, and she's like, every 3 months they're going to have a hiccup, and the hiccup could be a big hiccup, could be a bad hiccup, but they have to learn to pick themselves up and figure it out on their own. And every day is therapy. They just don't realize what kind of therapy it is. And girl, we have tried the PHP, which is partial hospitalization therapy, which we did after every single trip to the hospital. We did intensive outpatient after every single trip to the hospital. And every trip to the hospital is about 30 grand. Like, we had paid so much money, and then you got to pay for the partial and the PHP and the IOP. We've done counseling till we're blue in the ears. Like, we've tried everything that the government and the therapists and the psychologists and the psychiatrists have said to do. And it didn't work.
Do you know how many other parents out there
I hope
have
so.
gone
I feel like I'm
through?
talking a lot.
Or no, this is about helping other parents not feel so alone. This is a big deal, and you're not alone.
No, I'm realizing I'm not. And, you know, talking about what it actually looks like behind closed doors. I mean, so many women through this podcast that we've actually talked to and opened up, they're all dealing with this. If they've had teenagers or kids younger than 20 right now, they've had it in some form or fashion.
Oh, yeah.
And it isn't just the girls, it's the boys as well.
Oh, yeah.
But all of us are hiding it. We're hiding it from each other because we're mortified. We don't want somebody to think, oh my gosh, we're abusing our children.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, our children are holding, well, I'm just going to commit suicide and go take a bunch of pills if I'm going to get disciplined.
Yeah. What kind of rationale is that?
Yeah. And finally, you just get to a point where like, fine, come on into my house.
Yeah.
Find out what I'm doing wrong after everything. And it's funny because she looked at me when I told her all that in the hospital. She's like, yeah, no, we're not concerned about that. We're just concerned about what you're going to do because obviously what you're doing isn't working.
That's what she said.
Yeah. I'm like, well, what do you suggest? She's like, I don't even know what to tell you because you've done everything that we've already said to do 4 times.
Right.
And that's when I was like, okay, I got on the computer and I prayed, and I don't even know how I found this place. It's outrageously expensive. And I mean, outrageously expensive. And I've taken out a loan to pay for this. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
because I really truly feel that the bare bones of having to go pick your eggs for breakfast, and you have to do these chores, and they have to cook, and they have to clean, and they have to do their own laundry, and they have to live in a community where they serve each other.
Yeah. Learning about faith.
Yes.
God.
And something outside of themselves. Like,
do not have phones.
Yep. No phones.
Don't have computers.
They have computers for 3 hours a day.
And she can earn to have her dog.
She can earn to have her dog brought there. They level up. They have to, punishment is writing lines. And it's always a positive affirmation, which in my life, I had to write lines. When she said that, I about had a heart attack, because when I wrote lines, it was horrible. When I was growing up, it was very negative. It's very positive for them. It's always an affirmation or something that is, good for them. But and it was funny because a psychiatrist that we've been working with told me no amount of medication that I could give her is going to do for her what that school is going to do.
Oh, yeah.
And it's taking away technology.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I wish every student could have that opportunity.
Right. Well, okay. So I thought about this too, because not everybody's going to be able to do this, right?
Right.
And so I was like, so what do we do as parents? What is the solution? And of course, I went down a rabbit hole of researching, because this is what I do with my spare time.
Which is a good
thing. And one of the
thing.
things they said is because kids are so selfish, right?
Yeah.
They're so selfish.
They don't know how not to be.
They don't. Their brains are changing. They say that the teenage brain is much like from the age of 1 to 5, where their brain is constantly developing. Well, when they become teenagers, it's the same thing. So they don't make rational decisions. They're trying to learn how to make rational decisions. They're just not in a place where they see outside themselves.
Right.
So one of the things they said, that if your teen is anxious, depressed, listless, just miserable, put them in a situation where they have to serve somebody else. Volunteer at a shelter, volunteer at a dog shelter, put them where they're volunteering to see other people's suffering, and it takes them outside of themselves. It also, what do we do when we're miserable in our lives? We serve other people.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
All the time.
All the time. Yes. Like, it makes us feel so much better about our lives because we're helping and serving other people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that
it feels
is
good
what
to
we
help
do.
people.
It does.
It genuinely feels
an
good.
Actual dopamine, serotonin boost to your brain when you help other people.
Yeah.
So, parents, it is taking time out of your day to probably drop them off and figure out where it is. And if they're 16, they can go work at these places. They can go work at a shelter. They can go work for animals if they don't like people, which most teenagers don't. There are a lot of shelters that could use help just walking the dogs and interacting with the dogs or the cats or whatever animal it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's out there. Volunteer at a food bank.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But I think serving at your church, putting them somewhere where they have to, and of course, are they going to fight, kick, scream? Probably. They're not going to want to do it. But if you want to give them a sense of worth and accomplishment, serving other people is what's going to help with that. And of course, I say take away all technology, but nobody can do that the way our society is. You can definitely limit it though. I mean, I hope that they pass that social media until the age of 16. I don't even think 16-year-olds should have it.
Oh, I agree.
And then their brains aren't fully developed until they're 25. A man's isn't.
Yeah. I let Brinley have Instagram recently.
But you can watch that.
Yeah, and I do. And she's been responsible from what I can see.
And not every kid is it going to affect the same way.
Right.
Brinley is also she's like my oldest. They know what they want. They know where they're going. And they let very little stop them, right? So every child is kind of different. Those personalities. My younger two have ADHD. Typically ADHD is an addictive personality as well. So they get very addicted to that stimulation, that dopamine level.
Yeah.
Which causes all the other stuff. So you really kind of have to raise each kid differently.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You can't do this. I mean, I'm telling y'all, I thought I was the most amazing parent with my oldest son. I was like, oh my God, look at him. Look what I raised. And then God said, yeah, whatever, lady. But it all for me truly ties back to technology.
Yeah.
And the phones and the time that you allow them. And now I did not even realize this. I can go on their phones through your like T-Mobile and I can shut them off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. I can shut it off every day from a certain, and they will not be able to use it. Even on Wi-Fi. You can turn your Wi-Fi off. I mean, I know that these kids are super smart, but if you turn off the Wi-Fi and you shut off the phone, they have nothing else.
Right. Yeah.
All I can say is, especially for parents that have younger children, start those early.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't give my kid a phone. We're driving our kids to school, hardly ever taking the bus. Why do they need to get a hold of you? Oh, they forgot their lunch?
Yeah.
We're so quick. If you would have forgot your lunch when you were a kid, what would have happened?
My sweet little friend probably would have shared some chips with me or something.
Right. But your parents were going to rush to bring your lunch to school, right?
No.
You couldn't go down to the office.
You went to school with no water bottle, no lunch, or no
snacks. We didn't have the snacks.
No fun, no phone.
Right.
None of that.
And we didn't wear pajamas.
We survived just fine.
Yeah.
There's something about just figuring it out on your own.
And these kids don't have to do that. And I am just as guilty.
Oh, yeah.
Just as guilty. And I'm looking back, realizing that, when you have trauma in your childhood, the last thing you want to do is have trauma in your childhood, right? So you try not to do all those things that were so traumatic. Well, then you enable. And you don't realize that you're not letting them figure it out.
Exactly. Yep.
And
then there's balancing the two.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's no manual.
There should have been.
I know.
My gosh.
But there's not.
No.
And it's really hard. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. That and marriage, I feel like.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Marriage you're stuck with forever. Kids you're stuck with forever, but they eventually leave.
Sometimes. Not these days. Not always.
Yeah. And kids are staying home a little bit longer. People are having a hard time getting their kids out there. So let's talk about the next part, which is the workforce.
Yeah.
So what happens when this generation of anxious children are now in the workforce?
Well, their communication suffers. Do they know how to collaborate? Do they know how to
even look at you in the eye and have a conversation?
The soft skills that we talk about all the time in the mentorship program.
Right. Well, okay. So I did a study. The Bureau of Labor Statistics found that teens that suffer from significant depression or anxiety earn $5,000 to $6,000 less than their peers.
Oh, yeah.
And the economic impact is so great that $52 billion in U.S. budget savings could occur over the 10 years if efforts were made to help even 10% of those teens at risk for stress.
It's crazy.
$52 billion. If we don't step in and fix this, over the next 10 years, we'll be lost in revenue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's huge.
Oh, that's a real thing.
It's huge. All right. I feel like I've talked the whole time. I'm going to let you close down.
Well, I think this could have been 2 or 3 episodes for sure. So I don't think that we got everything in. But first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for being courageous and vulnerable. And I know that there's going to be plenty of people that resonate and feel a little bit better from you being vulnerable and sharing. And
I just want parents to know they're not alone. It's a real hard thing to watch that child in a hospital because they don't want to be here. I don't think there's anything that is more heart-wrenching, and you can't fix it. Yeah. You can't fix it.
Yeah. We continue to say prayers, and
Yeah.
in the times where you don't know what to say, I'm always here for you. And
Well, and then I'm very excited because we're doing another podcast right after this, and it's about the value of female friendships. And this is, that right there. And if I didn't have my girls right along there with me, going through the same things, but I just want other parents and fathers and mothers.
Yeah.
Everybody, 1 in 3 parents is going through this.
Yeah.
1 in 3.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to talk about how it affects your job, but
Yeah.
we can do that on another episode. And we really want to bring this awareness to this because it's May, and May is Mental Health Month. And we really just, want to have it open for parents out there.
Yeah. Some of the strongest people are quietly holding it all together for someone they love. If that's you, keep going. You are doing way better than you think you are.
Thank you guys so much for listening today. We love you.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.
BuildHERS Club is a production by Monarch Media Hub.
Recorded and edited by MZ Studios and executive produced by the amazing Abigail Thompson.
Hosted by me, Teresa Williams.
And me, Xanica Scusa. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, message us on Instagram at BuildHERS Club.
Or email us at hello@monarchmediahub.com. That's HELLO @monarchmediahub.com.
And as always, when commenting, please use grace. We're here to build each other up.